today, but here's why. These two young men that are going to come up here, these two students, reached out to me, found out about our event, and really have been amazing. It's okay. Why they've been so amazing is they have a passion that they want to share with you. And not even knowing them, they're both going into their freshman year. Seena, Pourzand, is going to be starting his freshman year at Amador Valley High School. Nishant, Jain is going to be starting his freshman year at Foothill High School. So both down on the peninsula area there, the East Bay area. And they reached out to me to say, can we tell our story? We heard about your event. We think it sounds great. We think we have a great story for your event, and we want to come. And my first thought was, sure, we've got breakout sessions. We're doing these things. And the more they followed up with me, and believe me, they have followed up and they've paid attention to detail. And I've been very, very impressed just with that alone. But I said, you know what? They deserve to be on the main stage. They are going to share their story, and without further ado, I want to introduce Seena, Pourzand, and Nishant.
Well, it looks like the tables have turned with the teachers outnumbering the students. So our presentation is the development of the 4 C's in schools. We just want to tell you about our experience with it and how they also changed throughout the integration of software.
Can you stand closer to the mic, please?
What was that?
When you're talking, the closer to the mic, pick up stuff.
So my name is Seena Pourzand, and I'm going to 9th grade at Amador Valley High School in Pleasant, California.
And my name is Nishant Jain, and I will be attending Foothill High School, which is in Pleasanton as well.
And we are here today to tell you about our perspective on the development of the 4 C's in school, and also talk about our products that we made and how they relate to the 4 C's. So first, we want to talk about my first product, which is the chameleon jacket, which is down here. So my product is the chameleon jacket, as Nishant is holding it right here. So the reason I made this product is because in my community, Pleasanton, we have quite a few people who walk during the night and jog as well. And they usually wear unappealing headlamps or construction vests with like reflective tape. And you only see them when you get really close to them. So for worrying for these people and their safety, I created this. So the why it's better is because it has 6 LED strips, 2 on the front, and 1 on each sleeve. And it also has a color sensor on the front. So when I upload the code that I've written myself, it can shine a light on whatever color you choose and replicate into the jacket, like a chameleon. So now we're going to move on to Nishant's product, the Lumi board.
Hi. So my product is the Illumi board. And so in the night, have you ever stubbed your toe on something or tripped over something due to the lack of light? Yeah? Well, so that happens to me a lot. So in an effort to fix this problem, I created the Illumi board. So what it is well, there's 2 boards here, but each board has 80 LEDs that are triggered by a change in light. and motion. Yeah, so due to some technical difficulties, they're not connected right now, but one of them is. So I'll show you. So in the night, if you can't see where you're going, you can just wave your hand over it, most of it, and it'll light up, showing you your area and your path, and making sure that you know where you are and anything that could be in harm's way. So Seena and I both proudly presented our products recently this May at Bay Area Maker Fair, and we came to show it to you. So furthermore, we will now give you our perspective on the 4 C's, and we will relate back to these products later in the presentation.
But first, for those of you who don't know, the 4 C's are collaboration,
Communication,
creativity,
and critical thinking. And these are considered by experts to be the most important attributes that students will need to compete in the global economy.
So now we're going to talk about our perspective of the 4 C's throughout our entire time throughout school.
So, throughout our educational life, we have experienced the ups and the downs of the 4 C's being implemented in our curriculum. They are especially vital in projects, as all of these skills are necessary for our success. One example where the 4 C's were enforced well was in a project in our 8th grade physics class, and the project was called the Marble Maze. The name is kind of deceiving, as it really was an unstable roller coaster, only made out of recyclable objects and a lot of tape and hot glue.
So the object of this project, or assignment for one, was to help develop our skills with physics and architecture, as well as develop our social and group skills. And we believe that this project alone has helped us with is one of the best implementations of the 4 C's that we've experienced.
So, starting out, in the beginning of the project, we were required to design a blueprint for what our structure would look like, as well as come up with a theme for the project. So the themes could vary from a volcano, to Finding Nemo, to even Coke cans. I don't know. So, coming up with an idea for how our structure would be built required lots of teamwork and imagination. See, the guidelines were not very restricting, so it let our creativity run free.
So, however, in a conventional book report for one, child or student for one is usually given stricter rules, which do not let the child be as creative as they wish to be, which makes it less engaging for most students and results for them to play on their phones or not pay attention.
So, throughout the Marble Maze project, we were also required to collaborate with our groups towards accomplishing the project. From the very beginning, we had to talk with our teammates and work with them. It made the project more enjoyable as we got help from those around us, and we had a lot of fun. So, an example of how collaboration worked in the Marble Maze is when building parts to put on the track. Some people would hold cardboard together, while another person would hot glue it, while another person would wipe the strings and glue away. It became like a web of arms, but it worked.
But when you have an individual project for one, you're usually set to work by yourself, and it's not easier. It's easier to work with more people, and you can hear their ideas as well when you work together.
So, during the Marble Maze, we were also required to plan ahead of time to determine the structure of the roller coaster. I mean, a lot of the times, all of the time, the structure would just fall over, or someone would accidentally kick it, and we didn't know what to do. So it took lots of problem solving and lots of thinking to make sure the structure would be functional and to make sure that the marble were from the top to the bottom.
But when you're given a project, when the teacher provides all of the information for you, you're not required to think, but simply restate the information given. So it's when we're forced to think, children find it more engaging and we have fun learning.
So lastly, the Marble Maze did not only require collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking, but also the communication of ideas between us and our teacher and our teammates. So without us talking with each other, the project would not have been as successful as it did. We did first talk with our teacher to figure out how to build a project and how we would go about it. Next, we had to talk with our teammates to make sure that the structure would not fall apart and to make sure that we knew how to work together. Our peers provided different ideas that we built off and integrated other thoughts that helped immensely on the final idea of the project.
But when there's no communication in a project, you cannot hear the different perspectives on what you're trying to accomplish or gain other ideas of what you want to do. So we're now going to talk about an entrepreneurship class that we took together after school. So you may be wondering about what our projects have to do whatsoever with the 4 C's. Well, it all started in a class called Engineering and Entrepreneurship that taught by a previous teacher of ours, Mr. Malik. Now, Mr. Malik heavily emphasized that anything that's not created by nature was created by someone and how this would play an important role in our project. So the class was like any ordinary classroom, as it had desks, a projector, and seats, but the curriculum itself was extremely different and intriguing to all of the students. It started off with him asking us what we wanted to create and what we wanted to do, instead of what he wanted us to do, which we found extremely helpful and fun. This had us to have no specific mold to fit into, and it let us to be as creative as we please.
So during the class, we were taught what a microcontroller is and how to program it using code. So like walking into the class, I was like, wait, what's a microcontroller? So we learned things like this in electrical engineering, and this helped us create our thoughts into a reality. The teacher, Mr. Malik, also split the class into 2 teams. So whenever we had a question or a problem, we couldn't go up to the teacher. Instead, we were forced to consult our teammates. And together we had to solve the glitch in the code, and the problem together. This was helpful as time went on because we all became more familiar with each other and more comfortable, and we weren't hesitant to ask each other for help. Also, the way Mr. Malik taught the class was very different than a regular conventional learning environment. At first, instead of getting him lecturing or teaching a lesson and we learned from that, instead we did something. And then from that, we got the knowledge.
So we want to say that since the integration of Common Core, the 4 C's have been much more implemented in schools, and we are extremely thankful for that. We also, in conclusion, we believe that that California school system is extremely well developed, and also we are extremely grateful for the opportunity of education we've had throughout our lives. However, if we integrate some of the ideals we talked about in the end of our speech, we can potentially make learning more fun and tie into the entire purpose of this conference and bring making into schools.
It will not only make it more fun for students, but also give a more immersive education, providing more knowledge from the hands-on experience and giving more information for a possible future career. Thank you.